Yeah.
Well, I guess the thought that I've had is that, I mean, I always thought, well, it's good to really purify your diet and to, cleanse as much as possible, but then, in a sense, you're sensitizing yourself, or how would you respond? Do you see what I'm saying? How would you respond to that?
From the point of view of this philosophy, whenever you start making any kind of change, good or bad, any kind of change puts stress on the body. There have been lots of studies that show this, okay? But this is something you can also experience. Any kind of change is going to produce stress. When you're under stress, you're more sensitive. When you begin changing your diet from one pattern to another, you see, everything is connected. We have this idea that there are no limits. Everything we do in life is connected. The way we think is connected to the way we eat. You can't separate them out. When you change the way you think, you'll find your diet changing. When you start changing your diet, you're going to find your thinking changing. Everything is relating to everything else. So if you decide for your own benefit that it's a good idea to change your diet, okay, if you feel this is purifying and that's beneficial to you and this is what you want, that's fine. But in the process, there are going to be changes in the body. Sometimes the kind of diet you start to do is going to cause the body to start relaxing its tension and release built-up toxins that have been held in for a long time. Okay? That's physiological fact. Okay? And those toxins are then going to be running through the bloodstream and affecting your cells, brain and organs and stuff like that, and you're going to have reactions. They'll be temporary as long as you keep on with the process of letting them flow and keep on with the process of keeping your body relaxed as much as you can. And so they'll be fairly short term if you can do that. But it's a process that happens. Some people immediately get dizzy when they start doing deep breathing because they haven't done a lot of deep breathing. And one thing deep breathing does is relax stress. And then if you feel any dizziness, that's toxins rushing through the bloodstream from that relaxation. See? So it can happen in a lot of different simple ways, as well as profoundly. Now, if you begin fasting, brought fasting up before, what happens then? Well, fasting begins to, first of all, you know that you immediately begin fasting, you don't immediately begin losing weight. Because the fat that's being stored is really therefore reserved to protect you in some way, emotionally or physically. So the first thing that the body starts working on is the stored up energy in tension. See? And so as you fast, the tension begins to release. Yeah. And this energy just flow. You never knew you had so much. But also sometimes what flows with it are the toxins that are also being released through that. Okay? And so it can be a very interesting time. Okay? But these changes are going back and forth. So what we're looking at when we say, if you change one thing, anything, everything related to it will also change. What happens in some people's lives is they begin changing one thing, a pattern of behavior or a pattern of eating or a pattern of thinking, and then they start getting these reactions from another part of life, decide they don't like those enough that they stop the change and clamp down again. That happens. However, life is change. Because life without change is called dead. Okay? Life is change. You can suppress your awareness of it and you can try to hold it back. Things are changing anyway. And you can really hold that and fool yourself for a long time that you've got everything under control. And then finally, when you've reached the limit of what you can possibly suppress, bam, something happens in your life. In your body, in your mind, in your environment, in your relationships, but something will snap. Which could have been a much more enjoyable growth if you hadn't fought it, if you hadn't been afraid of it. But the change will happen. And the more you suppress, then the stronger that change will be and the more unpleasant it will seem, usually. On the other hand, it can also happen because of the environment and the people that you're with and the support that you get that you've suppressed for all of your life. and your change is such that it's a change without any resistance, and it goes into bliss, spontaneous remission of cancer, fantastic new insights, cosmic consciousness, all kinds of things can happen. And it all depends on your state and your response to change.